Did you know that 90% of the world's millionaires invest in real estate? Well, I'm Angel with the Academy Presents Real Estate Investing Rocks, and I'm here to help you if you want to go for your piece of that pie. Hey guys, it's Angel from the Academy Presents Real Estate Investing Rocks, and today we've got Rich Groves, and he is one of those people that is loving and rocking the W-2, but they still got that side real estate hustle going on. There's a lot of reasons to have that going on. Maybe you just need some room, or maybe you're wanting to start that new business. Maybe you're wanting to get it going and then replace your W-2 income and then walk away and feel secure that you've got a business that's going to keep you at your current standard of living. So lots of different reasons why people go into real estate while maintaining a W-2. But this one is different. He loves his W-2. So, not like me when I left last February. This is Rich Groves, and it's a trainer for a law firm. Is that right?
Yep, okay, sure is.
So this is the part what is a soft skill?
Yeah, so soft skills are your interpersonal skills, right? It's not the technical skills. It's not let me show you how to create an Excel spreadsheet, click this, do this. It's, things like, emotional intelligence. It's time management, critical thinking, things like that. Those types of soft skills, interpersonal skills. Yeah. As you wander off.
Yeah, as I'm kind of wandering down.
It's the fun stuff. I'm got a bubbly personality most of the time and a little outgoing, goofy sometimes people might say. It's kind of hard to let that shine through when you're showing somebody how to, make text styled a certain way in Microsoft Word. But in the soft skills, I can play it up a little bit and ham it up and be more, attention grabbing and keep holding people's attention rather than seeming like Ben Stein in Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Bueller.
Yeah, so that's what I do. We do technical skills too, but it's just I've been a trainer of some type for the past 20 years, and I love it. I just love interacting with people and helping them achieve their success, their goals, and unlocking their potential.
Well, actually, it makes so much sense because super smart people aren't always that great with all the stuff that I'm just, when I think of myself, I mean, I don't know that I'm super smart, but I'm pretty darn smart. And my time management skills are nil. I've time blocked. I used to have all these alarms set on my phone. And I was just like, this is stupid, because it'd go off and I'd be like, oh, I'm supposed to be in my strategic block. And then the next one would go off. Oh, this is my buffer hour, because I know I'm not going to get it done in the hours that I set aside. And I'm like, well, man, this is my buffer hour. I guess I better get to
it. Right. Oh man. I tell you what, there's usually, I'm not the greatest in time management either. I'll be honest, but there's usually one thing I never miss. It's on my calendar, and I have it on my calendar every day, and that's lunch. So, I don't miss much of that. I mean, I definitely make sure I have time for that one on my calendar, and it's on time.
I look like I don't. Yeah, I look like I don't miss lunch that much, but my problem is actually I have ADHD really bad, and I'll start doing stuff, and then it's like 7 or 8 o'clock at night, and I'm like, did I eat today?
Oh my gosh.
Do you think I'd be really thin?
Oh,
not at all.
We make fun of people like you that forget to eat. No, it's just teasing.
It's not because I'm not hungry. It's because so I take medication and it helps me focus, and then I hyper focus, and it just doesn't.
Yeah,
of course, I don't hyper focus on the right things, or my little alarm going off on my phone wouldn't bug me so much. Right. But when the last Harry Potter novel came out, I literally read the whole book in one day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's when I say I hyper focus.
That's wow. That's some serious stuff there. That is wow.
Whew. Yeah.
You gotta brace yourself.
I know. It's crazy stuff. But anyway, so we'll get back on real estate. What got you into it?
Um, well, originally got into it in like 2005 and watching some of those shows on TV, and my cousin was actually a contractor, and he was talking up every once in a while this guy he knew that was just making money hand over fist. I was like, I got to give that a try. So I bought my first house conventionally. I mean, but it was 2005, so conventionally then meant you walk into a mortgage place, said you had a heartbeat, and you, I don't know, you could wait and nod your head and you got a loan, right?
Walk out with a house with zero down.
Right, exactly. So traditional meaning I wasn't using other people's money. I wasn't doing any creative financing or anything like that. And you know, that was it. Walked in, did a flip, did a pretty good, did pretty good on that. But actually didn't take that money and rolled it into something else, because in between that time, this is my story, so I'll tell it. In between that time, I had my job had been moved to Atlanta from St. Louis, and I had the choice of either moving to Atlanta, uprooting my family, moving to Atlanta, or take a severance. So I took a severance. So the money I used for, the money I made for on my flip, I used to pay bills, things like that. So I didn't get to roll that in. So I kind of took a back seat and got a real job again, and waited, and it was, timing was right, because then the crash happened, right? So after the crash, I started watching some more of those videos, and dang it, I got the itch again and jumped back in. So just the whole, that whole creative thing, making something out of nothing, and then once I learned about using other people's money and all that kind of stuff, I was in. I was hooked. I was like, I can make money hand over fist doing this, or at least be successful. But like you mentioned, I kept my full-time, W-2. Doesn't mean I don't do full-time real estate, right? So
Do you ever think that you'll have enough income coming in from real estate that you would consider walking away from your W-2?
oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And that is a goal. It's just, it isn't, I'm blessed, right? And I'm not going to say I'm not. I'm blessed that I do have a job that I do like, but it's also a curse, right? And I'm not talking bad, because when you have a job that you like, it makes it, you don't really have that push to make it all or nothing in real estate, right? So, but I do. My goal is, I don't quit anything. I'm going to be awesome, right? So I'm going to keep going until I'm awesome enough to not need that job. I would much rather be a full-time real estate investor than a trainer. I just happen to like being a trainer, and helping people that way. But I could also do some of like education stuff in real estate. So that may be a natural transition down the road. It's just not doing it right now, just because there's not enough hours in a day to have a full-time job, full-time real estate, and be an educator for real estate as well. So just not enough time. But yeah, so I do, and that is the goal. That is the goal. And I kid around when I'm talking to people, because I'm decently successful, for somebody who has a full-time job also. And people ask me, why don't you quit? Why don't you do it full time? And I kid around. I say, well, I throw my wife under the bus. I go, my wife's got an addiction, so I can't leave. My wife's addicted to this thing called benefits. So I can't leave my job because it's got benefits rolled in. But eventually, that won't be a second thought, right? I mean, we'll see. But that is the goal. Ultimately the goal is doing this full time.
Well, and that was the tie for me to a W-2, was because my insurance covered our son's ABA therapy, which ABA is 80 to 90,000 a year. It's one of the best therapies out there for children with autism.
Oh, wow.
And so when we found private insurance that we could get through our LLC that would cover his ABA therapy, there were no more strings.
Oh, that's awesome. You're right. And that, wow, the heavens must have opened up and you heard the angels singing at that point. Oh, you're right. Exactly. Wow. That's awesome.
But the hard thing for me was, like, I love teaching.
Okay.
Love it. And I was in high poverty school, a high minority population, and I love those babies.
Yeah.
And I mean, like I've said plenty of times on here and in other places, I mean, if you want to find out if you look real or fake, go around any of those kids and they will tell you in 30 seconds to 5 minutes.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And yeah.
We can see through BS. BS.
But it was, I mean, yeah. And it was always so funny because in my advanced classes, I would say something. And like one time, I probably shouldn't be sharing this, but one time I told this kid, I'm like, quit being so obtuse. And it's something my husband says all the time to our girls, quit being obtuse, which I guess his parents said that to him.
Does
But
does
in
he
my
like
little,
Shawshank Redemption?
I don't know.
It
We
came to-
watch it a lot,
There's
but
a line from there, yeah.
yeah. But so in my advanced class, the kids were like, why is she calling me a triangle? And in the academic classes and the regular classes, I said that, and this kid looks at me, he goes, Miss, did you just call me slow?
Wow. Wow.
And I mean, like, that was like some of the main distinctions, and it was just hilarious.
That is funny.
Yeah,
Kids are
super
on
funny. But oh yeah, but I mean, like, those are the moments that I really loved.
Yeah.
And getting in between fights didn't scare me. Even though the boys saw over my head. I'm only 5'2", but I would get in between them, and I wouldn't let them fight in my class. I'm like, no, we're not going to do this in here. And I don't know, I miss it. And so when I left that, I knew that I needed to be in something, sharing knowledge with someone.
Okay.
And it happened to be through the Estate Investing Rocks. And so we do the 2 summits a year and weekly webinars, and it fills my little educator heart.
That's awesome.
Not quite as much as my little babies did, but
right. That's awesome
because they're just funny. but I still get to see them because my daughter still goes to school there, and so she's a cheerleader. And so we went to the football games and stuff. They'd see me at the games and be like, Miss Williams.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. And that's got to feel good knowing you've helped mold a young mind, a young person, and they'll look back on you and remember you and have positive thoughts about you for the rest of their life. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, and I think that was the big value difference, because I knew that the kids weren't going to learn anything from me if they didn't like me. And I could force content all day long, but they're not going to learn any of it if they don't like me.
Right.
And so I was less concerned about the content and more concerned about the relationships. Sure. And that was counter to the ruling power. So,
okay. Wow.
But my kids worked hard for me.
Oh, awesome. They will. Yep. You're right.
It's all good.
There's a difference. Absolutely. You're in a better place now. No.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I mean, like, as far as like my own well-being, my own personal mental well-being, absolutely. And the fact that I still get to see my babies at events is pretty cool too.
Nice. So. That is awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome. I don't know that I'll ever go back to public school.
No?
Probably not. It kind of got ruined for me.
Yeah. That's a good point.
But I still teach college, so we're all right.
There you go. Exactly. Shoot. But you don't have fights in those classes that you have to break up.
So it might have been my second year. And a very non-traditional campus. So when I started teaching college, I was, 26, 27. And I was the youngest person in the room. And I remember coming into class and going to the desk, and someone was like, that's where the teacher sits. I'm like, yeah. And they were like, no, like for real, that's where our instructor is going to be. And I'm like, I know.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
And it was like, it took a few little like ollies back and forth before it hit them that I was the instructor.
Oh man, that's that's too funny. You're gonna be in trouble.
And I mean, this was like, well, now that I look back on it, somebody like my age now saying that to a kid.
Wow.
You realize what you're doing, right? Because if I saw some kid doing that, I would probably think they were trying to just be a clown or something, and
sure.
So I can look at it now and see what was going on. But that night I was like, what? Yeah. So fun stuff. It's been a wild ride.
I bet it has.
A lot of times I think about teaching, and I think about how it relates to real estate. And I feel like a lot of times there's parallels. Cause like one time I was talking to our realtor, and we love our realtor because like we just closed on a little portfolio on Friday. Our realtor was there, our banker was there, and we literally took the keys from the title company and handed them to our realtor. We won't
Nice.
walk in the house again. They'll make sure the make ready goes down. They'll get it rented. They'll get a renter in there, and the next thing we'll get is mailbox money.
Nice. You can't beat that. That's super passive. That's awesome.
Well, I mean, we get a few phone calls like when plumbing issues happen or if we need a new roof.
Yeah.
That's the latest too. But it's nothing passive like investing in multifamily passive.
Right.
When you invest in a syndication, that is truly you do nothing but look at the distributions as they pop up in your account.
Right. Okay. Nice.
And I might be a little lazy, you know.
No, it just makes you that way because it's easy. No, it's easy.
Yeah. No, it's nerve-wracking sometimes.
Sure.
So like we had a point in time where we had several vacancies in some single families, and that sucks. We were paying 3 mortgages, and that was a rough period of time. And I've told the story on this tons of times, but it was just very humbling. Yeah, when you have to start asking people for help. So
yeah.
But it finally got rented, and then we were okay.
Good. So. Yep, you're right.
So yeah. So you have buy and holds too, right?
I do. I have a small rental portfolio, and they're in they're in a working class town, little town, little village, even if you would. Most of them are. I've got 2 in another little area, but they're all within 20 minutes of each other. But yeah, it's rough when you get. I've done better. That's the one thing. When I first started out with rentals, I had a hard time evaluating tenants, screening tenants. I did. Or I would screen them, and then I use TransUnion Smart Move, right? I don't know if you've heard of that, but it'll actually give you a really well-rounded score. And it's not a credit score; it's part credit score, part eviction history, part a very high level income verification. Like if they say they're a cook at White Castle, sorry, are there White Castles down in Texas? I forget. They say they're a cook at McDonald's, fry cook at McDonald's.
The boxes at Walmart.
Oh, nice. Well, then you know what I'm talking about. But if they say they're a fast food worker at McDonald's making 85,000, it'll get red flagged. It's like, no, we don't think fast food workers make 85. But if they say they're a veterinary technician making 25,000, they might flag and say, I think they make a little more than that. So it's not a full-fledged verification of income, but at least it can give you an idea. If they say they do this, it should make this. And then obviously it's up to me to get pay stubs and verify their employment and things like that. But so criminal history, it does criminal background check, it does eviction history check, and it does credit check and high level employment check, and it gives you a score, and then it gives you a recommendation. They recommend you accept the person, they recommend you decline the person, or they recommend like there's a low accept, and then they've got one now that's called conditional, which I don't even know what that means really. It's like we looked at it, but it's up to you. It's like that's up to you if you accept them or not. So I'm like, oh, this is weird. So there were a few times when I had a decline, a flat out, I should have declined them, but my heartstrings got pulled because I'm a single mom and I'm just trying to start over. I'm trying to get out of a bad relationship and I need to move where he doesn't know where I am. And okay, and then 3 months later, there's no payments, there's no nothing, and I'm the worst SOB in the world. And bubble, I'm like, wow, what? I'm being very lenient here and trying to work with you. But anyway, so I've gotten past those because now I'm a lot better. A friend of mine, was talking to me today actually about some of her initial struggles, and some of her initial struggles related to me really well. It's like, why are you making emotional decisions for business transactions? It should be business decisions, flat out. So I try to do that. Doesn't mean you got to be cold, stone cold, but you should, stick to your business decisions and what your gut tells you about your business acumen.
Well, like our first renter, was a nurse. So we felt pretty good about it.
Sure.
No. A month later, very first renter we ever had in that place. A month later, she had left all of her crap behind. And it was like, oh my gosh. And this would have been 07. And it was like $500 to get her crap moved out. And then we had to make ready on top of that. And this was our very first renter. But Jason and I both grew up in families that had real estate. And so we were like, this is okay. We pay it and we start over.
Wow.
The next renter was awesome. But I think of how many people I know that had they had that first experience, they would have backed out. They wouldn't have kept going with it. And maybe we were too stupid to know. I don't know, but it was like the first property manager he had was pretty decent, the one that put the nurse in there, and then the next renter was pretty good. And then I can't remember exactly when we switched, but we had to switch property managers, and the next one was okay. And then I think the third one is the one with now. We've been with them for like 10 years. We met them for the first time, like when we went to Jason's cousin's wedding, like not even a year ago. And we met him at the house because the house was actually empty. Oh, wow. And we walked around. It was so funny because Jason and I were inside of it like, oh my God, we used to live here.
Oh, wow.
With the shag carpet in the living room. It doesn't have shag carpet anymore. It did.
We're closing a house tomorrow that has shag carpet in the living room. It's crazy. It's orange, that orange and brown, like not quite tiger stripe, but you know what I'm talking about. It's that orange and brown.
My grandparents had the olive green.
Ooh, that was hot. Oh man. But only if you can match it.
I want to say it was still upstairs in the house.
Really?
No, it was well, they had everywhere. We had an olive green fridge, olive green stove and oven. I mean, everything was olive green, including the shag carpet.
Heck yeah. Probably
the house,
olive green
Grandma and Grandpa's house was built. No, it actually had linoleum until a friend of mine was a GM for Dow Tile, and he knew somebody that could do tile work, and so my grandparents' bathroom got done like in this blue tile, and that was where I learned that it always comes down to the tile guy.
Really?
It's not the sheetrocker. It's not the tape and mutter. It's the tile guy's fault when there's an inch and a half of grout between the wall and the tile.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. That's true. We need that quarter round. Oh my gosh.
So they finally got a nice bathroom, and then they put blue carpet down, but the green shag was still upstairs.
Oh, okay. Yeah, people don't realize back in the day they used to put carpet in the bathroom. It's like, wow, man, that's so bad. When we bought our house, the house we live in, there was carpet in the bathroom. We had to yank that crap up real quick. But yeah, man, oh man, fun stuff.
So what class property do you usually focus on?
It's probably low C. It might even be C minus. Really, honestly, it's just because I invest in most of right now. I'm getting ready to invest into some higher, better class, but you just can't beat it in the area. The thing about St. Louis is that you have the St. Louis, Missouri side, and then you have the metro, what they call the Metro East side, which is the Illinois side of the St. Louis area. Completely different political system in Illinois than in Missouri. Higher taxes in Illinois, more regulation usually in Illinois. But I can make the numbers work better there a lot of times, even though, it's, I'll buy a house. I'll be all in on a 3-bedroom, 1-bath rental, $25,000 or less, maybe 30 if it's super, super nice and in a nice neighborhood. And I'll get rent $750, $800, $850, $900. Yeah. I see. Yeah. So, and I'm not kidding you. I have a house.
We're getting like 1,000 to 1,300 on a Class B 322 attached garage on all of them.
I mean, I've got one that'll probably end up, it's in the middle of get ready right now, that it's a 3-1 with a detached 1-car garage that I had severely I was under market and rent for about 2 years on that because it was a rent to own. And then the people just finally defaulted and left, but it'll probably be 800. And I bought that house for $6,500, put less than $10,000 into it to get it ready, and was getting $650 a month at that time. But now I'll probably have to put about, I don't know, it depends how much insurance is going to cover some of the stuff. But yeah, I'll probably have to put another 5 or 6 into it to get it ready.